Hello, I'm Matthew from Mulvox, and we are at the Essen Spiel on the PC booth, but we are there with Shem Phillips. Hi, Shem.
Hello.
So you're the designer of Raiders of the North Sea, Shipwrights of the North Sea, Explorers of the North Sea, but we're not in the North Sea anymore. Please tell us more.
No, so we're into the Frankish kingdom this time. So no more Vikings.
So what's the name of the game? It's Architects of the West Kingdom.
Yes, Architects of the West Kingdom. So it's set at a time where the Frankish kingdom split into three around, I'm going to get it wrong if I say it. I won't say what it is. It's at some point in history. So we're focusing on the Western Kingdom, which was basically what became France as we know it today. So the game's kind of set around the Paris area. You're playing as an architect, trying to develop the region by building various buildings and constructing the basilica, which I've been told should be called the cathedral, not the basilica, so we'll change that. And yeah, so it's a game of building, collecting apprentices, gathering goods, but also it's got a virtue system, so there's a lot of do I be really nice or really bad. So, yeah.
So it's a development game, so I guess we're still trying to build an engine. And for how many players is it? Is it for 4 players, 5 players max?
It'll be 2 to 5.
And do you feel it's a bit more experts than Raiders?
Yeah, so it's similar but a bit more complex. There's a bit more depth, a few more rules overhead as you start the game. There's a lot of different things you can do. But as far as like the turn sort of busyness, it's as simple as Raiders. Just put a worker down. So it's less than Raiders. You don't pick one up.
Worker placement. So how do we win the game? Is it victory points?
Yeah, so it's victory points, which you'll get from buildings, from your work in the cathedral, gold and marble, your virtue, any debts you have unpaid. So various things you can do to get points.
So how do we gain these points? What do we do in the player turn?
So on your turn, you start with 20 little workers. On your turn, you always just place 1. So you might just go to the forest and get 1 wood. Then on a later turn, if you go there again, you'll get 2 wood, and then 3 and 4 and so on. So it's always just placing 1, but you're kind of investing into an area. So if I had 4 there now, next turn I can get 5 wood. But eventually someone might think that I'm getting greedy. They might want to slow me down. So if they go to the town centre and they'll pay just 1 tax, they can then capture all of my workers. And then on a later turn, they can go over to the guardhouse and put them into prison because they've been doing bad work and undercutting and things like that. And they'll get 1 silver for every worker they put in prison. So you can kind of capture workers, sell them off, get money. And for me, I can just go back in there and just get them back for free. So that's how you get your workers back.
What a friendly game.
There's no take that. We're very keen not to have any kind of attacking or stealing resources. So all the competition is based on the board. And you're not stealing things, you're just limiting how powerful a player's actions are on the next turn.
So what do we do with the resources like gold, coins and stone and woods? Do we build buildings? Do we buy from there?
So with buildings, you'll have a cost up the top left. So this one's quite simple, just 3 clay, 1 wood, 1 stone, worth 5 points, and will give you an end game sort of bonus as well. Some buildings will give you an immediate benefit straight away when you build it. So this one's a very small building, worth not many points, but it gives you some clay straight away. So it's sort of a jump start type building. Some buildings will require certain types of craftsmen, certain skills. So this one requires a carpenter type person. So the apprentices we've got up here will have a certain skill that they're good at. This one's good at tiling, carpentry, and then stonemasonry. So to build this one, it'd have to have one of these, pay the goods. Also, I'd gain a virtue for building it. So it's a good building, it's a chapel, and worth points as well. Some buildings will need like all 3 and will actually make you lose virtue. So a dungeon's a bad building. You can also build the basilica, which is the other option. So the basilica, you basically pay the next level up.
It's the cathedral.
We'll change that. So you'll pay a gold, then you'll move up, and this is going to be worth points at the end of the game. You'll also get some benefits, virtue and other items for contributing with the cathedral. And this is a sort of a race, so only one person can get to the top.
So how does virtue work? Is it simply a track that you want to invest in or not?
Yeah, so if you're really good, do lots of nice things, you can end up getting points for it. Even if you start going above, you can just start destroying any debts that you've got. You're so good. However, if you go too far up, you can see here there's a no black market symbol. So the black market is a way of getting goods quickly, but it's going to make you lose virtue. So it's underhanded deals. It's also one of the only ways you can get marble. So you can't get marble here. You can trade for it, but this is the quickest way to get it. So if you were to say go here, you'd pay your 3 silver and I'd lose a virtue. If you keep doing bad things, you're going to go drop further and further. And this will be worth negative points. If you go too low, you can't work on the cathedral. However, if you drop really low, you can start skimping on your taxes. So some of these locations you need to pay 4 silver, and anything red is tax. So tax always goes into this tax stand here. So if you go low, you can just basically ignore. So things become cheaper. This tax stand will start piling up as people start making payments. Eventually someone's going to get greedy, and they can go to the tax stand and steal all that money. But they will lose 2 virtue.
If you are at the bottom, you don't care.
If you're at the very bottom, if you drop off, you actually get a debt. And debt cards are these ones, which I'll change graphically, but they're basically negative 2 points, but you can pay them off for silver. And there's a bunch of apprentice cards, actually there's 3 right here for example, that if you do pay off a debt, you get an extra bonus. So you can kind of build a debt engine. So there's lots of options for how you can win the game. So.
And you can still redeem yourself and remove your debt through virtue, because people like you.
Ideally you want to try and get out of it, because it's like negative 9 points down here. So yeah, you can get virtue mainly at the King's Storehouse, so you can give up goods to get virtue, or just work on the cathedral, and various other buildings will give you virtue and things like that.
So how did you come up with the idea of architects? Is it something that you've done after the success of Raiders, of the trilogy of the North Sea?
Yeah, I always had because the North Sea, I thought, oh, you could have the compass bearing the south or the west, So I had a few ideas in mind. The Frankish one was the first one because I love medieval sort of settings. And then my friend Sam McDonald, who's the other co-designer, he came up with the game with where you place the worker, you get more actions and you capture them. Now this is a really cool, interesting take on worker placement. And we played around with it a bit. And eventually I was like, I really want to publish this. So we decided to co-design. I helped design the virtue system and just add more of my flavour of game, so it feels like my kind of game. So it's been great. We're really good friends, so we've worked together for 5 years, playing music and stuff. So it's his first design, but it's really good. Yeah.
When do you expect for it to hit release or Kickstarter?
So it'll be late February next year.
For the Kickstarter?
Yeah, and so with that deadline, with that timeline, we'll probably hope to have it at Essen next year for sale.
So this is a prototype, obviously. Like the art, I guess, will change because all of the workers are the same, all the buildings are the same at the moment, but it's going to change. Yeah,
so currently the board has been done. Something, icons might change. The box art has been done, but everything else is just temporary. Yeah.
I mean, what will you do next? Is it a trilogy like the North Sea?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So there's a few ideas I've got floating around. And just people enjoy collecting and they enjoy the building the world, so I can't help myself. Yeah.
You're a compulsive creator.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Good way of putting it.
Thank you, Shem, for that overview of Architects of the West Kingdom, and see you on the box. Bye-bye.